Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen, the heart of my home, and welcome to a season of Hygge. That's a Norwegian word, by the way, and it means comfort and cozy, and there's not an exact interpretation, but I certainly did experience it when I was in Norway this year. And it made me want to make sure that my spaces have that same feel. So I am in the kitchen today making some crock pot apple butter, which the smell alone is worth the process, but it'll give me a chance to show you some of my Norwex favorites. And when I'm working in my kitchen, I want to make sure that I'm serving up the very best in taste, but also clean. So we'll start with some apples here. Of course, no surprise. I'm going to pull my apples out of the produce bag, another Norwex product to replace those flimsy little bags that are actually probably never make it to the recycling. Even if you're buying organic produce, you definitely want to start by washing. So I'm going to put these in my bowl of water here in the sink. I'm going to add my produce wash here, and what's beautiful about Norwex produce wash is it's aligned, right? It is non-toxic. Just put a splash in here, and then I am going to let them soak for a few minutes. But while I'm doing that, you might notice that I have a spray nozzle on the top of this. I usually don't use it as a spray. I actually normally put a capful in my bowl of water. But for illustration purposes, I want to show you something. So this is a head of broccoli that's organic, and when you attempt to run water through it, you'll notice it repels water. You'll see the water beating up on it. The water doesn't pass through it because even the organic produce has a wax coating. That's a food grade wax, so that's better than something non-edible, but things stick to wax. So we're going to just squirt this with our produce wash here, just a little coating. And first of all, you're going to notice this looks a lot greener. It gets rid of that white dustiness. And then when you run water over it, you'll see that it actually can pass through the head. So let's take care of these apples and get them ready to get peeled and into the crock pot. So I'm using my veggie cloth, very rough and scrubby side, and that's probably what I'll use on my apples because it won't hurt their skin. But there is a smoother side for peaches and nectarines and things like that. I love this green cloth. It's perfect for the holidays, but I also want to just make sure that everything is off the produce. And you'll notice on this, it has a rough side, great for potatoes, carrots, root vegetables. In fact, I don't even peel my carrots anymore. I just take off a thin outer part of the skin layer with this side. This is a phenomenal gift. I've seen this be a great gift for teachers, the people in your life who you know are foodies. Wonderful gift opportunity right here. Let's talk about cutting boards and why these cutting boards are so phenomenal and why they make such a great gift. All right, you would never take your credit card and put it in your smoothie maker, right? Grind it up and add it to your smoothie and eat it. You would never do that. But there's a recent study that shows that most of us consume about the equivalent of a credit card worth of plastic once a week. Many people are getting rid of their plastic cutting boards because they know that it's very possible when you're cutting on any board that you can nick it. And often that piece goes MIA into your food. So these cutting boards are made out of the husk of a rice kernel, like the bran of a rice kernel. 3 sizes, the mini. I use this all the time for like small prep. The small, which is actually the medium in my opinion. The large, which we actually carved our turkey on last year. So great, nice big drip channel, all dishwasher safe. And probably many people's favorite feature is this silicone ring on the back that makes it so when they sit on the counter, they do not move. They're stylish, and really if you want the best deal on these and you want them as giftables, get the set. That is a phenomenal $20 off deal. So don't forget, this is why we want to make sure to get the plastic out of our lives. Speaking of getting the plastic out of our lives, let's talk about some ways to do that. Many people use plastic wrap, right?
Did you know that all the plastic ever created, unless it was burned or recycled, is still in existence? That is because it never breaks down. It's very, very long breakdown time. So let's talk about ways that we can keep you out of that plastics aisle in the grocery store, save all that money, but yet still have all the convenience of food storage options. So first, let's talk about these collapsible silicone containers. There is lots of evidence to show that you should never heat in the microwave in plastic. So these silicone containers are going to be a great option there. But because of its versatility, silicone goes everywhere. You can put it in the freezer, the microwave, and such. But then when it's not in use, you have these neat stacks of these collapsed bowls in your cupboards with the lids attached. No challenge to find the lids. So these are always a great option. I love the rectangular shape. And there's a tiny small set with the two smallest ones, a large set with the two larger ones, and a set with all four.
Why not change your whole kitchen completely over? And when you're having people over and entertaining, you've got the perfect solution for leftovers.
And the people in my life that are using these love them. I love that there's a vent in the top that you can release if you are heating in them. But speaking of lids, what happens when your container's lids become cracked or unthinkably go missing? You know, they don't come home from school lunches and different things. The silicone stretchy lids are the bomb. They come in a set of 6 and they stretch on. They have the tabs, so it's so easy to take them on and off. 6 different sizes, everything from the smallest soup can up to my KitchenAid mixer bowl. You know how sometimes when you bake cookies and you only want to bake half the batter, just pop this over, or half of a cut watermelon, or so many uses with these, and they take up very little room, so super easy to store them. Just wipe them clean when you're done. And then lastly, the newest kid on the block are the reusable silicone bags. And because Norwex has not had these for very long, I always was purchasing other brands because I am not a fan of the single-use, throw them away Ziploc bags. But the challenge has been to find a bag that has a seal that actually holds and is easy to use. And that is exactly what Norwex put out with these 2 bags. The smaller one holds 2 cups and the larger is 6. And they go everywhere from the freezer to the fridge to the microwave, and unbelievably to the oven. So not at 500 degrees, of course, but at your 375 temperature. So all of these are great options, and especially these reusable bags. One of my favorite things about them is that they stand upright in the refrigerator. Imagine having all your leftovers lined up in these handy bags. They would go great in your lunch bag and anywhere you need them to. Let's get rid of the plastic in our kitchens.
All right, y'all, I am your special secret word guest for this video. Your secret word for this video is hearth.
Let's talk kitchen cleanup. So there are so many different options. If you're baking pies or cookies where you're leaving flour on the countertop, this mesh dishcloth is your tool. Get it wet, wipe up the flour. It doesn't become glue on the cloth instantly. It's great, but it's also great for washing dishes. I love that you can throw it in the dishwasher. But there's the Enviro sponge and a very nice scrubby side for things that are stuck, and all the benefits of our backlock microfiber, picking up to 99% of the bacteria with proper use and just water. So a great product. But the new kid on the block in the scrubbing department is the Ultra Scrub Cloth. It is, you can see, very thick. Of course, our lovely Enviro cloth backlock on the back. Many people use this guy folded in thirds, so it's just the right size to fit in your hand. I have this glass top stove. I use this with cleaning paste. I have several friends who have glass shower doors. They took their other one to the bathroom. They come in a set of 2 and they make a wonderful gift. So if you need more scrubbing power at your fingertips, the Ultra Scrub Cloth is going to be a great option for you. And let's talk about the refrigerator. Ooh, pardon my messy kitchen. If you look here, you will notice one of my favorite tools is the refrigerator drawer liners. Have you ever noticed how long actually keep the moisture away from it? And then how about if you add in that backlock, which is going to keep the surface clean. The refrigerator drawer liners, I like to put them in the drawer. Each of the produce drawers, I have one in each, and I have noticed that my, especially produce, obviously that's not in a bag, has such an extended life in there. And then another tool that you'll see featured is the stainless steel cloth. Many people use what they call Bert and Ernie or the Enviro window cloth to shine things up. So this is a cloth that many people like just to dedicate to their stainless steel appliances, which used to be their most difficult cleaning challenge. So when you use it, you find the rougher side, and it's very obvious when you're looking at it with your eyes. Moisten the rougher side, scrub, take care of any life that's happening there, and then flip it over and polish it. And a lot of us like to put a magnetic hook on the side of the refrigerator so it's always hanging there when you need it, and that is going to be a great refrigerator solution. Well, much time has elapsed and the apple butter is now in the jars. It's been processed in the canner, and all that's left is the cleanup. And in my household, I have counters that are very difficult to tell if they are dirty. You can see they have this multicolor, but when you're using your bamboo cloth, which is a new favorite of mine, what you'll notice when you're wiping your counter, if there is any dirtiness or stuck on food on the counter, this cloth has extra scrubbiness just to make sure they're clean even when you can't see it. So the bamboo cloth, I think, embodies what Norwex is: sustainable, practical, and effective. So definitely a great product to add to your kitchen collection. Another thing that you'll notice is that there's a lot of Norwex hanging around my kitchen, but one that goes into my bathrooms and my kitchen is the new foaming soap, hand soap in citrus. So it's a different packaging. Of course, we have our Forever foaming bottle, and I haven't got my seasonal bumpers on it yet, but we now actually also have red and green bumpers that can go on it. But I love that they reduced the size of these packets and made it just right for this Forever bottle. Fill it mostly with water, add this in, swish it a little, it dissolves very easily, and you know it's above board. Norwex has a list of over 2,900 ingredients that they will not use in their products because they're either not tested, or they're not shown to be safe, or they're shown to be harmful. So the citrus comes in a 3-pack, one for the kitchen, one for each bathroom, and you're set for a very long time. And you just throw this in the recycle when you empty it. Another great way to reduce packaging and enhance your Hygge experience in your home. These are great giftables. They come in different colors. This is my winter set, and of course there's the lovely Christmas set with the bands for labeling if you're using them on the spray bottles. But less plastic in your life honestly means less plastic in the landfills, less problems for the future. So as you are finishing up your holiday shopping, who in your life needs some Hygge? So many different ways to say it, but the basic principle is comfort and peace and warmth. Let Norwex help make your holiday season just like that, and the seasons of those that you love. Comfortable, effective, flavor-saving, cost-saving, non-toxic. What will you add to your kitchen collection? Norwex produce wash is, the water doesn't pass through it. It has a a wax coating. Enzymes are naturally, they're protein. Try to run water over it. Oh, you can't even see that. We'll try this. I need a camera person here. Which solution? All right, the refrigerator drawer liners have, I've seen them in. Also, I wanted to talk to you about, so the citrus foaming hand soap, of course, has the no list of 2,900 ingredients applied to it. There's the lovely Christmas. Your life needs some Hygge, Hygge,